Hey, what's going on everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit. In this video, I wanted to talk to the person who wants to start Amazon in 2026 and give you some advice for, getting started, okay? So first and foremost, when you're new to selling on Amazon, they're not gonna give you a lot of leeway. You're not gonna be able to sell a ton of products. It's not like, 2016, 2018, 2019, where you could just come onto Amazon and sell any product, any brand that you want, right? There's categories that are gated, there's brands that are restricted, so on and so forth. So my recommendation is if you're gonna start selling on Amazon, start selling the few things that you can sell, right? That might be a couple video games, that might be some used books. Typically like categories like DVDs are gonna be restricted fully. A lot of board games, Hasbro, Lego, you're gonna be restricted on, but there are gonna be hundreds of different items that you can sell. And the only way to really know what you can sell, because everybody's account is different, is to, get yourself a scouting app. Like if you're gonna do books and stuff, maybe check out Scoutly or Scout IQ. Maybe if you're going to do some retail arbitrage and go to Walmart's, Target, so on and so forth, you can get Seller Amp, which is a really great tool. They've got a mobile app. They also have a Chrome extension as well. But you just have to understand when you're new, you're only gonna be able to sell what they're letting you sell, because Amazon doesn't trust you, they don't trust me, they don't trust anybody when you don't have any selling history, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind, is you kind of just got to sell what you can sell in the beginning. And as you sell more products on Amazon, they're going to ungate you and they're going to allow you to sell more products and more brands without having to go out and get like invoices and whatnot from distributors, because that's what Amazon wants when you're new. And even if you're a seasoned veteran, I've been doing this for over 10 years, there's certain brands and products I can't sell unless I buy 10 or 100 of a specific brand. Or maybe like if you're ungated in DVDs, you can go to a website called christianbook.com. And if you buy 10 of a DVD, or it might be more, it's different for everybody's account, you buy it, christianbook.com will give you an invoice, you upload it to Amazon, and then you'll be able to sell that item, which it could take some time. Sometimes it takes uploading that invoice 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But again, when you are new, sell what you can sell, because the more you sell, after selling maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 items, you're gonna notice the catalog really starts to open up. So with that being said, since you're not gonna be able to sell a ton of items, I'd recommend, if you're just getting started, either A, going to like thrift stores, library sales, garage sales, or B, going to places like the Walmart clearance aisle, Marshall's clearance, sometimes Target has clearance. And I mean, at least with that method, you could buy items really, really cheap. You could sell what you can sell. And even if you don't make a ton of money, you can start to earn trust with Amazon. The more products you sell, you're gonna get reviews. And then, again, Amazon's gonna trust you more. Now, secondly, you're gonna have to decide if you wanna be FBA or merchant fulfilled, right? For me, I'm 100% FBA, which means I buy all the products, I put them in a box, and I send them to FBA. The downside to FBA is it's going to take longer for your items to become live, available for sale. It could take sometimes weeks because they bounce the products around to different fulfillment centers, so on and so forth. But the upside is you have a lot of freedom. You don't have to store all the items at your house like an eBay seller. Products typically sell faster. You get the prime bump. And again, Amazon will fulfill all of those products, but sometimes it's tough because of the cash flow issues, because again, you're having to wait to, get everything checked in, sold, shipped, so on and so forth. Or instead, if you want to be able to get your items listed up faster, you could be a merchant fulfilled seller, which is pretty much like an eBay seller. So say you buy a bunch of items, you list them up on Amazon, and instead of sending them to the FBA warehouses, you store them on your bookshelf, you store them at your house. Maybe you create like a little SKU system, so when they sell, you can find that inventory, package it up, and ship it out to the customer. The downside is a lot of these products might take a little bit longer to sell, just because Amazon, a lot of times, they give the buy box to the FBA sellers. But I have friends of mine who run full-time merchant fulfilled operations, and you can certainly win the buy box. You just have to have a little more knowledge in terms of looking at Keepa charts and just kind of understanding how the buy box rotates and looking at the buy box history, which I'm not going to get too much into right now, but that's a big decision to make in the beginning. For me, I went 100% FBA. I just didn't want to do merchant fulfilling because I was busy. I had a lot of different things going on. And if you have a job, you might just want to box everything up. And even though the cash flow is going to be slow in the beginning, ship everything to FBA. And then it's like you don't have to worry about it. When the items sell, they pick it, pack, and ship it, and you get paid. Now, the third thing I want to mention is, and this is something to keep in mind when you first get started, is, I know a lot of people start a business because they want to make money now, but that's really not the way it works on Amazon anymore, at least in 2026. When you're new, again, things are going to be slow. And one example of that is when you sell items, Amazon is going to hold onto your money in what's known as reserves, and they're going to slowly drip that money out to you as the items get fulfilled, they get shipped, and there's specific periods of time, I think it's like 30 to 60 days after you're a new seller, where they kind of hold your money a lot longer. Like for example, me, if I sell a bunch of items, I'm probably going to get paid 3 times quicker than someone who is a new seller. You could definitely do some research on that, but just keep in mind, if you're going to be starting Amazon in 2026, make sure that you don't quit your job, right? Don't stop selling on eBay. Don't stop doing all the other things that are making you money, because it's slow in the beginning, right? They're going to hold your funds. They're going to pay you out slowly. Again, if you do FBA, items are going to take a little bit longer to get checked in. So really, you want to look at this as a long game. And I always tell people, if you're wanting to make money on Amazon, there's a ton of money to be made, but really the first 3 to 6 months is almost like, paying your dues, right? You're selling products, you're getting auto ungated. Maybe you buy from a couple distributors to get ungated. You're waiting for your items to get checked in. You start selling items, Amazon is holding onto your money, so on and so forth. So really, you have to look at it as a long game and say, you want to know what? The first 6 months, I'm just going to go through the process. I'm going to get my account looking nice and healthy to Amazon so they trust me. I'm going to be getting ungated in more products. You're going to be able to learn how to scan products, maybe using SellerAmp or Scoutly or Scout IQ, or even the Amazon Seller app, which is free. And again, you're just paying your dues. I mean, the same thing applies if you open up a pizzeria in your town. I mean, first of all, if you open a pizzeria, you're going to have way more overhead, but there's permits, there's licensing, there's, getting your building, there's probably working with distributors, there's building your client base in the beginning. I mean, if you open a pizzeria, yeah, you're selling pizzas, but you're not really making money because you have so much overhead and you just have so many things going on. I mean, that's just how it is in business. And I just want to be honest, when it comes to Amazon, the same is going to apply. Now, another thing I want to mention is when you're first getting started on Amazon, you're going to definitely need some tools and some supplies. I mean, granted, let's just say that you already have a computer and you have a printer, because you're going to have to print out labels, whether you're an FBA seller or you are a merchant fulfilled seller. You're going to want a printer, you're going to want a computer. You definitely are going to want to have a little barcode scanner so you could scan your products in. So when you're listing your items, you scan the barcode and it'll go into your listing software. I highly recommend GoToLister. That's a really, really good listing software. Also, a subscription to Keepa is very important, because when you're analyzing deals, you want to get an idea of how long it's going to take to sell, and you're going to want to get an idea of, what do I realistically think that I'm going to be able to price this item at? Now, of course, you're going to need other things like boxes, tape. A shipping scale is very important as well, because you're going to have to weigh boxes to ship out as a merchant, or weigh out, the bigger boxes to ship out to FBA. And then of course, you're going to need some labels and whatnot for when you're labeling your products. So when you go to ship items to Amazon FBA, you're going to have to print out what's known as an FN SKU. It's a little label that you print out that you put over your barcode scanner. So you can get 30 up labels by Avery, or you can use just like little 1 inch by 2 5/8 inch little labels that you can get. I use the Rollo labels. I have a Rollo printer, so it's a thermal printer, but that's also very, very important. So those are some of the basic supplies that you're going to need in the beginning. Now, I would say after 6 months or so, one of the things that I highly recommend doing is looking into ways that you're going to be able to source more inventory, because the reality is, yes, there's money to be made scanning books at the thrift store. There's money to be made at garage sales, Facebook Marketplace. But I tell you right now, the biggest thing that's going to hold you back is the time that it's going to take to be able to source all of those deals. So what I would recommend doing, maybe at the 6 month mark, maybe the 3 month mark, if you're really moving quickly, is look into a software called Replin Catcher. Okay, so Replin Catcher is a software that actually allows you to be able to source all different types of products, office supplies, books, DVDs, board games, video games, off of eBay that you could then sell on Amazon.com. So this is how I've sourced, over 35,000 products in the last 5 years, sourced and sold from eBay to Amazon for almost $4 million. And this tool will pretty much compare the products that you're looking to sell on eBay versus Amazon. So say for example, this book is selling on Amazon for 50 bucks, right? I'm just making it up. It'll look on eBay all day long to try to find this book at a price where maybe you can make $10 profit, $15 profit, $20 profit. And Replaying Catcher is tracking over 4 million products all day long, every single second of the day. So this is how I'm, able to source pretty much as many products as I want without leaving my home. I don't have to drive to thrift stores. Yes, it does require some more capital, but you could choose any category. The software also integrates with your Amazon account, so you can filter out all the products you're gated and restricted on, which is another awesome thing about Replaying Catcher, because a lot of the products you're gonna be gated and restricted on and not able to sell. So all you have to do is integrate your account. It takes 10 seconds. Then Replaying Catcher will tell you everything you can sell, and it'll break down your profit, your ROI, how many times per month it's selling. You can see the pictures, all of that. And yeah, I've got my mom doing that. She's been doing that for about 6 months, and she is absolutely loving it. For the first 10 years on Amazon, she did all thrifting, library sales, but now the thrift stores are kind of getting tough. They're raising the prices. There used to be more competition. The competition has gone down a bit because a lot of people have kind of given up on Amazon just because the thrift stores, the prices are just so much higher and they're selling stuff online, so they don't really know how to source as much. But I'll tell you right now, guys, check out Replaying Catcher. There are so many deals on eBay. Now, another thing I want to say as well about getting started with Amazon is you're going to have to take time to learn new things. When it comes to Amazon, there's a lot of things that just aren't intuitive, right? There's things like high pricing errors where you might price an item at a certain price and Amazon doesn't like it and you have to change the price. If you're doing FBA, there's items where you're going to ship it to the warehouse and they're going to put it in what's known as stranded inventory, where they're going to pretty much say you have to fix something before we're able to list it. Again, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but there's a lot to learn with Amazon. And while this might sound a little overwhelming and kind of disappointing, the good news is a lot of people give up and quit because a lot of people don't want to learn new things. They want to make money right now. And I get it. I'm the same exact way. I want to make money right now. But the cool thing is it kind of builds a moat around your business because most people give up. Most people quit. They don't want to learn new things. They're not willing to put in 6 months. They only want to go to thrift stores, which again, thrift stores are great. Maybe you want to make a couple $100 extra a month. That's fine. But I tell you right now, most people don't want to learn how to, do eBay to Amazon. They don't want to learn Replaying Catcher. They don't want to learn how to use Keepa to analyze deals. But if you're willing to put in those 3 to 6 months to learn the ins and outs, to learn how to analyze deals, to learn how to list with GoToLister, to learn how to source deals, right, the correct way, there is so much money to be made on Amazon. But I want to be very clear, if you're thinking about getting started, it's not a get rich quick. It's a get rich slow, and it's not even a get rich, right? For me, I'm earning, last year I did $130,000 in net profit, and I've been doing this for 10 years. So, and I'm spending a lot of money, and there's been a lot of things that I've had to learn over the years. So it's definitely not a get rich quick scheme. But the good thing is it's a challenging business. It's a hard business. And while, again, that might sound disappointing, you want to be in a business that's a bit challenging. It's not impossible. It's not like, people can't do it. My mom, she's 70 years old now, and she's doing it, right? Although she has been doing it for a while, and of course she's got me in her corner, but I'm in your corner as well, guys. I mean, if you ever have questions, you could drop a comment down below. You could check out resellingfreedom.com, which is my community. With over 200 members, we have over 7 coaches. We do live coaching calls every single week. It's less than $1 per day. So you're not alone. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you put in the work, if you put in those 6 months, there's a lot of freedom, there's a lot of income, and there's a lot of money to be made, but you definitely have to have patience. So if you have any questions, I know it was all over the place in this video. If you want me to dive specifically and deeper into maybe the tools and supplies I'm using, or deeper into Replaying Catcher, or deeper into fixing stranded inventory, right? I could definitely make some more videos about that, but there's a lot of money to be made in 2026 on Amazon. I love it, whether you're a merchant fulfilled seller or FBA. So with that being said, guys, much love. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.